Hey, folks, I'm Big Sam, and I've done it the wrong way for a long, long time. One of the mistakes that I made, I thought success was about what I did, but the truth is, it is about who I was around. Uh, Serious. I thought, thought I got here by myself. No, and I've not believed that since I got here, and I'm not even here. Uh, you know, like like the Beatles said, need a little help from my friends. The biggest mistake I made thought success was about what I did, and I thought that when I was trying to do it, I thought that when I wasn't having success. But then it clicked. It wasn't about what I did; it was who I was around, those that helped me, those that are helping me, those that are around me, and then we started having more and more success. Let me pull the curtain back a little bit real quick. Just kind of a PSA. Next few weeks, try something a little different. Gonna get away from the dress shirt and the casual wear. Going a little bit more casual. Gonna start doing some rep t-shirts or some sweatshirts, etc. And the one I got on is one of my favorites. And I know you can't see that logo from my microphone, but the boil. It's a crawfish boil held every year at Ross Bridge, and it supports this great event. And unfortunately, I'd like to tell you that it's coming up and you can go. The reality is that as I'm filming this, it was last night. And I've worked this thing for 16 years. It is a great event. Lots of great people, good music, good food. I get to work with a dream team of artists, some of my best friends in the world. One of them happens to be my kid, great young balloon twister. The amazing Christina, aka Bonnie Balloon. Love getting to work with her. My best friend Kristen, or one of my best friends, Kristen, the from Starshine Faces. She's the little sister I never wanted, and many more folks. Her team is amazing. The team that I get to take is amazing. Again, great event. So look them up, Hope for Autumn Foundation, and I'll try to plug them as we get around toward next year. So great event. So, and that's people I'm around, people that have made me better. So let me ask yourself, have you ever noticed how your mindset changes depending on who you're around? Man, yeah, you start to act like the people around you. You get around negative people, you start thinking negative. You get around people who complain, you start complaining. You get around people who are growing, and all of a sudden you get more out of life. And I've seen that. I've lived that. I've gotten to be around some neat people because of the things I get to do. It's not random. That's influence. And whether you realize it or not, it's shaping you every single day. Here's something I had to learn the hard way. You don't drift toward success. You drift toward your environment. The conversations you hear, the standards you see, the excuses you tolerate, that becomes normal to you because it's normal to the people that are around you. Once something becomes normal, you stop questioning it. It's just what you are. Who you're around is, and the pool that you're in is the people that you are. It's what you become. I've been in environments where average was the goal, where you get by, you go along to get along, and you make it through the day. Don't rock the boat. Guess what? That's what I became. I've also been around people who expected more out of me. People expected more out of themselves. They took pride in their work. They showed up early. They didn't make excuses. They got the thing done. And if you're around that long enough, you either rise to it or you get uncomfortable. and if that's happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. When you get around the high level people, the people that are getting it done, you either rise to their level or you're real uncomfortable around them. Some of them will make you uncomfortable. Now, what nobody talks about is the people change your life aren't easy for you to be around. They won't hype you up when you're wrong. They won't let things slide. They won't tell you what you want to hear. They tell you what you need to hear. They'll say, hey, that ain't your best. So you're better than that. And I've had to say that to somebody recently. You're better than that. Why are you cutting corners? And if you're honest, at the time, you're not always going to like it. When I've been corrected by peers, quite often I didn't like it. when I was younger in my career, I hated it and I wouldn't listen. And that's a story for another day. I got an episode coming up that is going to be, if I could talk to me younger, what would I say? Be listen to those people that were trying to tell me right from wrong. Uh, it's easier for you to be around people who say you're fine the way you are, let you be the way you are. That doesn't help you grow. Growth comes from pressure. Growth comes from standards. Growth comes from people who expect more out of you than you expect out of yourself. I've got people that are around me now that I think they can be better than they are. I'll be honest. I'm putting this out because I believe a lot of you watching and listening are better than you are, can be better than you are. You're not operating at the level that God's got intended for you. I believe you can do better. Those people will change your life. Uh, you know, again, I don't get to be in the proximity of a lot of you, but hopefully by you tuning in, I can be. And I can tell you, you can do better. Whoever's listening to this, you can do better. Here's the hard truth. Nobody in your life is supposed to go where you're going. Everybody's got their own little thing they're doing. Because some of those people, you've known them a long time. You've worked with them. You've grown up with them. You've spent years around them. They're constantly pulling you back to where you were. Constantly negative, constantly making excuses. You got a decision to make. If you keep listening to the wrong voices, you're going to keep getting the wrong results. If you keep doing the thing that you're doing, you're going to keep getting the thing you're getting. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So if you don't remove yourself from the environment or from the listening, from the voices that are channeling into your head, that are telling you things, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. And if you keep doing that, expecting to be better, guess what? That's insanity. So this ain't about cutting people off and acting better than anybody. It's about being intentional. Who do you listen to? Who do you learn from? Who do you allow to influence your mindset? Because that will determine where you end up. Now, maybe you don't necessarily have to cut them off out of your lives completely. You just get to compartmentalize their voices. If you can't do that, if their voices are too loud, if their voices are continually influencing you in a negative direction, then you may have to cut them out of your life or hold them at an arm's length. We've had to do that. My wife and I have had to eliminate voices in our lives that were close people to us because they just weren't good for us. Certainly good for her. So now I got to tell you, there's been people in my life that have been amazing for me. We just talked about the bad. I'll tell you about the good, the folks that were great for me. People that impact your lives, people that speak into your lives, people that tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. People that have been positive for you. My buddy Carl first invited me to his church. Yeah, and I'll tell you, Carl and a lot of other people impacted my life in a positive way. And I'm not sitting here doing this podcast without these people. So my buddy Carl invited me to his church. I'll never forget the text. I still have the text saved. Hey, I'm not looking to recruit you. I know you're happy in your church, but my church is having a men's night. Why don't you come? Literally changed my life, changed the course of my life. I'm not sitting here right now without that text. So my other buddy, Carl Smith, gave me my first job in quality and mentored me for 6.5 years, actually 8.5 years. Learned a lot from him. My Friday group, 5 men. My original buddy Carl is in that group. He came to that group after he invited me to his church. It's kind of a full circle thing. And he and I sharpen iron constantly, bounce stuff off each other. My Friday group, those 5 guys, 6 including me, we get together on Friday morning and we talk about what we want to do. We talk about things that are challenging us, talk about where we are, and we don't let it slide. I read off my bucket list to them the other day, And there was a thing on there that pretty far fetched for me. And one of them went, "You can do that." Cool. When I was looking at changing jobs, it was that same guy that went, "Where's the bad side?" Uh, those guys encouraged me. Those guys, when I was talking about I want to be an encourager, and one of them was like, "Well, you are. You absolutely are." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Spoke that into my life. Uh, my daughter Hannah put a bag of balloons in my hand for the first time. That wasn't a thing. That wasn't anything we even dreamed of. She put a bag of balloons in my hand and said, "Daddy, you can do this." Yeah, actually, what she said was, "Buy this and make me some balloons." I admit I kicked back a little bit on that one because I didn't. The bag was $2. It wasn't about the money. It was about I didn't want to fail. And she, I don't know how to say this delicately, insisted by means of a 5-year-old having a meltdown in Walmart. So do what you got to do. She knew what Daddy could do. Changed my life. My friend Kelly, who about 5 years after that, when I was just playing around, having fun with balloons, she said, "You need to market yourself. You're pretty good at this." That put me on a trajectory that changed my life and my family's life. Has allowed us to do things that are unfathomable. If you'd have told me that was 19 years ago, if you told me then where we'd be today, I would have laughed. I could not have handled the vision of where I am today and what I get to do because of that. I was an introvert. Didn't like approaching people. It was bad. My first few nights were not. I wasn't that great at the connection part of it. Wasn't that great at the balloon twisting for several years. But she believed in me. My friend Tim, who helped start our Friday morning group and then encouraged me to lead it. My friend Steve, who believed in me as a professional and as a leader and still does. He's my boss now. And just one of the most encouraging people you'll want to meet. Professionally, I wouldn't be where I am without him. My big sister, Jerry, she encourages me all the time and always has. With her, sometimes it was a little forceful when, like, she believed I could clean up dishes out of the living room and should, and decided that she would throw them at me. But that's a story for a different day. And Jerry will laugh at this when she sees it. But there's on and on and on. And believe me, this is not an all-inclusive list. There are so many people. This is what I remembered as I was writing the script. People that encouraged me. And even on a much bigger scale, the really important moments in my life, the people that impacted me, poured into me, changed my life, changed the course of my life. Liz and Melvin, golly, such wonderful people. They first invited me to their church in 1991. That changed the course of my life. I was a hell-raising redneck, and they saw something. They invited me to church. They invited me to church multiple times, and finally I ran out of excuses. And first Sunday in December 1991, I walked into their church. And 2 weeks later, my friend Ken, who 2 weeks later invited me to a Mexican restaurant for lunch. He was the pastor of that church, and he led me to Jesus. That's the single greatest impact in my life. I'll say it again. That is the single greatest impact in my life, which means if you can make that impact for somebody else, it'll be the single greatest impact in their life. It doesn't get any better than that. And then the person who has made long-term has made not the single most, but overall the biggest impact in my life is my best friend. And that's Amy. She believes in me. All these things that I get to do, she believes I can do. When I come up with some crazy scheme, she's like, "Oh yeah, you can do that." When I get down on myself, she's like, "No, that's not who you are." She's amazing. When I make a mistake, I'll say something derogatory about myself, and she'll go, "No, that's not who you are. Don't say that. Don't talk about my husband like that." the most amazing person on earth. It's a biased opinion, of course. I am married to the sweetest woman alive. And a lot of you will, if you know her, you'll agree with me. But she's made long term the biggest impact in my life. So when I look back, the biggest growth in my life, the most growth in my life didn't come from a book, although books are great. There's a lot of them out there. I just got a new one this week, by the way. I got Chris Hodges' new book, Letters. I can't even think of the name of it now. Can't wait to dig into it. And I'm going to actually dig into it with my Friday guys, simply because my buddy Carl suggested it. The books are great, but that's not the biggest impact. Didn't come from a podcast. Not gonna throw off on podcasts because, well, we're trying to do one here. Didn't come from motivation. Didn't come from a guy speaking from a lectern. Came from the people that you're dealing with day in, day out. Iron sharpening iron. People, real people who lived it. People that lived what you're going through. People that challenged me. People that didn't let me stay where I was. Hadn't been around them, I'd probably be stuck where I was. I don't know where I'd be without the people in my life, the people that I read off. Probably still be that same hell-raising redneck, or who knows. This is the reason I do what I do. I want to pay it forward. I want to help others the way I was helped. So if you want to change your life, change your circle. If the people in your life aren't motivating you, if the people in your life aren't pushing you forward, find new people in your life. Pretty simple. If the people in your life aren't moving you forward, don't allow their voices into your head. Okay? It's pretty simple at that. Find people who can speak into you. Get their voices in your head. Thanks for your time. If this hits you, share it with somebody who needs it. Y'all like it, share it, do the thing on the socials. Y'all know what to do. Chances are someone else is one relationship away from a completely different life. You can be that person. And as always, let's grow together. Keep moving the needle. Till next time. See y'all.